Bachata family. Welcome back to the second episode of What is a Good Follower to You. The four interviewers are back and we're discussing again the topic social dance. I wanted to know of them how they choose their dancers when they go to social dances. And I also wanted to get a little bit deeper to the question how does a follower can actually support a leader. Any idea? Check out this video. Um, Sometimes, like we were talking about this conversation. So if my leader, or like dancing is the conversation, so if my leader is a little bit lost at some point, we're having this interaction, right? So I can, as a follower, also step up for my leader and help him to get out of something. Yeah. So do you maybe have a tip for followers about this whole creativity thing, so that they don't look around and look like a sheep?
Of course, in the end, dancing and social is not competition, right? So you want to, you don't want to expose the other one. You maybe even want to be supportive, and if someone, the leader or the follower, loses track on the music or just have a blackout, it helps, of course, if the counterpart helps the person who lost track to get back on track, and it goes in both directions. Yeah, and there are many creative ways of doing that. Of course, one is to make them feel comfortable, to make them feel appreciated by smiling or giving a good energy. And of course, yeah, you can also just continue with your basic steps that the person can re-enter to the song. Yes, that there are things that mostly happen intuitionally if you have a good attitude.
Wow, that's very nice said.
Yeah.
Maybe, so as my last question, do you also have a tip for leaders? So, so maybe who are struggling a little bit with the connection, or who are struggling also with being creative? Have like a dance and you're not enjoying it because maybe the leader is not having a conversation. What would you do? Or what could you do, and what would support your leader still, even though you have not the most fun at the dance?
Sure, everyone has that problem. What means problem? Everyone is facing the situation. Not only once in a night, probably a couple of times. You, for example, go to a festival and you think like, wow, there's high level and you're gonna have the most amazing dances, and then the first dance you have is like with a beginner. It's like your mood goes down directly. But the thing is, first of all, be patient. I mean, you started, everyone started once. So I think first of all, go down with your expectations, use the dance wisely, train your basics on that moments, see what you can do, like with your basic steps, move your hips, like really go back to basics and correct there yourself. Use it as a training, maybe in some way. And then as well, like see it as an enrichment. If there's, for example, in a festival only good dancers like all the time, then you wouldn't have a range anymore. You wouldn't have a sense anymore. Is that dance good or not? You know what I mean? You don't have a comparison anymore, and that makes it nice. I have often, when I go to a festival, it happens to me if I have too many good dances, let's say like this. I get in an automatic modus. So I'm like dancing, and I don't realize anymore that I'm doing movements. And then it's nice also to have a dance where you maybe realize, okay, this is a different level, there's a different energy, it's a different a different level. And through this, I realize again and enjoy also again other dances. Yeah.
The level of dance, right, where you're actually dancing and there's technique. But there's also the level of human connection. And let's say you're both normal human beings and nobody smells and everyone's really polite with each other. You can still connect on that level. Even though you're not so good at dancing, you can still connect and have fun. You don't really need to have the craziest dance moves or the craziest musicality to just have fun. And you can even have fun while making mistakes. You can have fun maybe by experimenting. Maybe sometimes we focus too much on the dance level and the dance technique, and we focus less on the human side of things. And I think if you're a beginner who cannot offer so much on the dance level, then I would suggest that maybe you can focus a bit more on the human side of things and connect on that level.
Okay, so maybe it's also like seeing dancing as a conversation, maybe like even though maybe you have not the most intellectual talk, it's still nice to have like maybe a casual chat with someone. I mean, it's 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
So more about connecting on like what is the other one saying to you and how are you responding, than more on the level of philosophic talk.
Exchange of emotions rather than, yeah, I think you're completely right there.
Well, I think, you know, you cannot have a connection with everyone. That's, I think, the main thing to me. And you shouldn't try to force a connection where there is none. There just can be these things, you know. There are, when I talk with my like male friends, and you know, at the end of a social, for example, we talk about, you know, like our great dances, and then, you know, it can be that me and a friend, like we were dancing on the same level more or less, but when we dance with the same girl, and we had completely different experiences. Like I just said, like, wow, I could not dance with her, and he was like, wow, man, with her it was amazing. So I think understanding that helps you a lot. That it's just, yeah, even if your friends saying, wow, this guy is such a great lead and everything works amazingly well with him and he makes me look so good and feel super sexy, it's like, maybe that's not the case for you, and that's fine. And that happens with even with artists. The more you go to festivals, the more you speak to people, and the more countries you visit, the more you understand that, yeah, I think there's also, it's just like a component to dancing that maybe sometimes you cannot explain. And it's, I don't know, maybe like in relationships, you know, like either it's with people of the same sex or opposite sex. With some you get along better, with others you get along less. So understanding that and not being too hard on yourself, even if everyone loves that guy and he looks amazing on Instagram, might be not your fit, and that's okay.
Never say like you're doing this right or you're doing this wrong or whatever, because it's social dancing, and this can happen in another frame, but not on the dance floor, not wise. So, as a feedback, I would never ever correct someone on the dance floor. That's an absolutely no-go. It doesn't matter. Maybe if it's a timing, okay, then I would like give impulses to go back to the right time.
Like you're a leader and then you have like a follower who wants to show off that she has like learned something and doing this by maybe and dropping herself or like doing this embrace. So what is your impression as a leader? What do you think?
So learned, I don't think that they learned it. I think probably they saw it on YouTube and they go, wow, that's a cool move, I will try it in a social. Because if they would have learned it in a workshop or in a class, then they would probably know the technique behind of it, and knowing that every stability has to be by them own. But my tip is here, as a follower, you mean, or as a leader?
You as a leader, yes.
Me as a leader, what I suggest for the followers.
Does it impress you if I'm like, dropping, or if I'm like showing you how good I
am? Absolutely not. Like I said, I would be scared to do certain things and I would hold back. I wouldn't feel free to do what I would like to do. So at the beginning, as a leader, it's always the first couple of seconds or half a minute is connection, and then starts like trying out which movement can she follow, which level is she, what can I do with my follower, and this, you can really feel already fast, is there enough body tension there? Is there enough release of the body so that I can do certain movements or not? And for sure, it's really really disturbing if someone does try to show off with this kind of movements. It's not enjoyable.
So ladies, if you hear this, like, impressing doesn't have any impact on guys, but like
small movements, smaller is sometimes better.
Yeah.
Wow.
What I said already, how much the follower is enjoying the dance, and the signals that the follower is giving me. If that boosts my confidence, for me, that's the number one.
Okay, great.
For sure.
It's very natural, and everyone would lie if they would say that attractiveness is not it's not an issue. It's of course crucial factor to be accepted in a social community. It doesn't go only with dancing. In business life, it's exactly the same. In school, in all social community, attractiveness gives you a bonus. However, you cannot only rely on attractiveness, obviously, and there are many ways to work around. If you don't feel comfortable, for example, with your body, you can do something against it, right? You need to do sports, you need to do workout, you need to do maybe more effort, but every effort pays off. And people that are lazy and don't do effort and expect the most, they are entitled and they have develop a bad attitude, and they are unattractive by it means, because they don't do any effort, and therefore they also don't deserve the same, exactly the same attention that someone who is putting effort in, who's going to work out, who's going to learn, who's going to study. Yeah, it's very natural.
Maybe
Physical attractiveness, of course, symmetries, body shapes, things that you are used to through media, through advertisement, that you have a certain picture of attractiveness. Of course, I think very basic to attractiveness is certain hygienic standards. Okay, that makes you already attractive. Of course, the way you dress, it should be appropriate, right? If it's a gala event, you should dress appropriately, and then you immediately have a attractive contribute. And of course, attitude is also attractive. If you are someone maybe who is physically not the best looking person, but has a good attitude, makes effort, is engaged, is transferring good energy, this is also contributing to attractiveness. So it's not only the physics, but also the attitude. And there, I believe everyone can work on.
Maybe can you also summarize that for ladies, so who are a little bit maybe not so confident, that attractiveness has nothing to do with like a nice sexy skirt or like a really beautiful dress that you're wearing, but attractiveness can basically come from the attitude more than the look.
Attraction comes only from the attitude, I think. Of course, the look in the first 2 seconds, maybe it's important, but your attitude, how you think about yourself, how you see yourself, matters way more, way more than what dress you're wearing, how much makeup you have. Attraction is not so important. Like if we have the baseline, of course, we are humans and we're biological beings. If an attractive lady walks into the party, it will grab the attention. I think that's always going to be true no matter what. But what determines whether I stay for another song or more songs, or whether I stay and have a conversation with you afterwards, that's from your personality, I think. You can have, let's say, one extreme example of a very attractive dancer, but let's say she has the physical attraction but lacks the personality, and then we have another dancer who didn't dress as amazingly, but she's very warm and bubbly and just enjoys the dance. I would prefer to stay with her. I mean, of course, the attractive one would grab my attention first in the beginning. As a guy, as a biological human, that it's just the way it is, right? But to stay afterwards and to keep my attention, I think the personality and how you dance and how much fun you have matters way more. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you wear to the party. It doesn't matter what you look like at the party. I think at the end of the day, like, most important thing is, like, looks don't matter. Looks really don't matter. Is the truth. What's even more attractive than someone walking into the room and looking really good? What's even more attractive is someone who's confident and who doesn't think about, am I attractive enough? That's like someone who doesn't even care about that. Like, and you just walk up to whichever leader you want to dance with, you go up to him and you say, hey, let's dance.
I think to start, I think every follower has experienced that, like the way she dresses, and like, you know, maybe sometimes she goes for a bit something more sexy or like more, I don't know, it's like something, yeah, better fitting. I think everyone experienced that. That's going to change how guys are going to ask you to dance. At least that's from my understanding of, you know, talking to quite a lot of like girls that dance. It's not gonna, it's not making up for other things that you're like maybe lacking as a dancer, right? So it might be that many guys will ask you for a dance, but then the rate of guys that come back to you to ask for a dance is not going to be high, or they have just completely different intentions than dancing. And that's, if that's what you want, fine. I would say in most cases that's not the case, but of course that's not up to me to decide. But yeah, to me, a follower attractive to me is what, like, when I see them dance and how much the guy that is dancing with her is smiling and enjoying. And that is in general like a good indicator of, you know, like a social dancer. You can look at them, but the best indicator to me is to look at the partner. That goes for lead and follow. Like if I'm trying to see if a lead is capable and like good, I just look at how much the follower is enjoying that. For sure, like, you know, I asked girls to dance because I thought like, wow, like she's looking really good. And then it turned out that she was not really good, or like maybe more concerned with looking good than dancing with me. I'm not going to ask her to dance again. The guys that will ask her to dance again, it's clear that they have a different intention than dancing, or something that I have no clue about, but I don't know about that. So yeah, the way you carry yourself on the dance floor, like how comfortable you feel in your own skin. There are just some followers that are glowing on the dance floor, and that's like regardless of you know, how beautiful they are perceived according to like standards of society. Yeah.
I think glowing, you know, I don't think that glowing really comes from the clothes you wear. I think being comfortable with who you are, being happy, I think this should attract you more than just like a nice tight body jumpsuit, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
just go up to them, ask them to dance, and if they say no, then they say no, and you go dance with somebody else. I think the best mindset to have is not how can I get the attention of the guy I want to dance with, but rather how can I have so much fun? How can I have so much fun and so much connection with whoever I'm dancing with that he wants to ask me to dance?
yeah, maybe a concrete tip is that you can dance with those people first that you're comfortable with dancing, that you know from dance class, that you know you can make mistakes, and it doesn't matter much, and you build up your confidence from there. That was the case for me. I remember the first couple of socials that I went to, I was so afraid to ask girls that I didn't know for a dance. Like I just couldn't, and that was probably the first couple of months where I was dancing. So I would build up my confidence by dancing with girls that I knew, either they were friends of mine or they were in my dance class. And I build up the confidence from there.
Would you like to support me in my work? That's pretty easy. So just subscribe to the blog and to this YouTube channel. Leave me a comment. Leave actually a comment below this video so we can start a discussion. For social media, please follow me, leave your comments so I can see that the content I'm doing is good and I'm continuing doing this content.